Congratulations. Thank you very much. Emergency.
I don't have a crystal ball, but like you, I can see what is going on. Atiku's emergence was almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. He created the ADC for himself.
Let me warn again that any further attempt to interfere in the affairs of the party enough is enough.
And basically, and therefore, it was not surprising that he won.
Virtually all opposition political parties in the country are being thrown into different forms of leadership crisis. I must state that at this juncture, this is not the time to celebrate.
Amaechi is struggling to vie with Atiku.
He's a president. His own vice giving him condition.
If the primary is free and fair, nobody's going anywhere. But where it is not free and fair, a lot of us will react.
And I was actually shocked and surprised that very experienced politicians, especially my friend and brother Rotimi Amaechi, would not even allow the primary to be concluded.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News Gist and Blog. Atiku have been handed the flag of ADC, being the flag bearer because he defeated his opponents in the primaries, defeated Amaechi and co. And now Amaechi. Anyway, I want us to watch the moment they handed the flag of the ADC to him after he defeated his opponents. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, out of the possible 3,113,599 members who are registered members of the ADC, 2,527,977 members actually came out to vote. And of these members who voted, Mohammed Hayatu-Deen scored 177,120 votes. His Excellency, Right Honorable Rotimi Amaechi scored 504,117 votes. 504,117 votes. While His Excellency Vice President Atiku Abubakar scored 1,846,370 votes.
Excellency Amaechi Atiku Abubakar, and the winner of the presidential having secured the highest number of votes.
In this convention, I was using my eyes to look for Amaechi. Amaechi was not there. Amaechi is not there. Amaechi were nowhere to be found in this place. But I want you guys to listen to the speech of Atiku Abubakar, what he said thereafter he win, and he said there is no loser, there are one party. After he bent their hand to collect the vote, he said, no, we are one. You know, if I win, it's still like the party wins. So Amaechi, I just want you guys to watch.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in our party, members are allowed to express their views, to have ambitions, and to contest for elective positions in a free, fair, and transparent process, guided by our determination to rescue our country's democracy, which is facing its greatest threat since the return of democracy in 1999. As I speak, virtually all opposition political parties in the country are being thrown into different forms of leadership crisis. And opposition figures continue to be harassed and intimidated, including those languishing in detention, such as Malam Nasser El-Rufai, who distinguished himself as a public servant, including as a minister and a two-term governor of Kaduna State. He has been in detention for 3 months, despite court orders granting him bail. He has been denied the right to celebrate 2 important religious holidays with his family, in addition to being denied the opportunity to be by his mother's side as she took her last breath. What a cruel government. All because he is leading opposition figure. This kind of cruelty must stop. The government continues to harass, intimidate, and coerce opposition politicians to join the APC, using the security agencies as well as the agencies which were set up by the previous government to fight corruption. Under this government, once a person joins the APC, the harassment by these agencies ceases, and charges against them magically disappear. This abuse of power must stop. Great care was taken to ensure that due diligence was done in the process of forming this coalition. Yet the government and the INEC continue to undermine it, even trying to deregister it. Let me warn again that any further attempt to interfere in the affairs of the party by the presidency, INEC, and judiciary will be fiercely resisted. Enough is enough. I congratulate my fellow contestants for this ticket to represent our great party in the elections scheduled for early next year. I know that you are driven by your patriotism and commitment to a better Nigeria and improved life for our people. I know that, like me, you are deeply concerned about the rapid descent of our country into economic disaster, catastrophic insecurity, extreme nepotism, political intolerance, and the drive towards a one-party state by the current government and its party. I thank you for your participation in this process, which is healthy for our party's internal democracy and for democracy in our country. I must state that at this juncture, this is not the time to celebrate. No one was defeated. No one. We are one party, and we all need to recognize the fierce urgency of the moment. Therefore, we have to unite as we pledge before this process to work to pull our country and our people out of the destructive grip of a corrupt, incompetent, and polarizing APC government.
My interest in this particular video is during the voting, when they were doing their own primary election, what Amaechi said, and I want you guys to watch.
Let me borrow the word of, what's this man? I don't know if you have read The Man of the People. The major character, he will shout, Mammoth crowd. Mammoth crowd. There was a huge number of turnouts in their thousands. That turned out to vote. First, there was dancing, celebrations, and all that. And then we got the INEC people involved and all that. And I did cast my vote and I left the place.
What is your hope that happens after this election?
Well, I'm not God. I was monitoring the country, state by state, where I was. But now I've stopped because I have to engage people. Currently, no result is out. I hope that the system will be transparent as it was in my village. If it is transparent, I will accept the result. Because from the one, all we agreed is that if the primary is free and fair, nobody's going anywhere. But where it is not free and fair, a lot of us will react.
From what you've monitored, how is it going so far?
Well, not much information. Everybody say, some are still saying that my chairs are just leaving. Some say we're at the venue of the meeting. So I don't know what is going on. I'm waiting to know what is going on.
Why do you want to be president?
How many of you that were here in River State, if you had seen what I had done in River State, then you only ask that question because I changed the face of River State. In education, in security. By the time I came to River State, you knew that people couldn't go out of their houses. You knew that we had a medical health challenge because men or husbands couldn't go out at night to have alcohol or drink or have parties because of the level of insecurity. So what they were doing was produce children. So when our health sector became a challenge, we needed to tap seriously to settle the insecurity so that people can go out. And in less than 6 months, Port Harcourt became free. So this security challenge in Nigeria can be tackled. The problem is that as soon as Nigerian politicians get money, they forget that that's their responsibility. Now, we'll focus on that responsibility. When we came here, all of you who are from River State will agree with us that if we didn't attend to the economic challenges, probably the insecurity wouldn't have stopped. So we awarded contracts of primary schools, of health centers, of roads, electricity. By the time we finished, we were generating 750 megawatts of power, and Port Harcourt needed only 450 megawatts. One of the reasons the former president and I disagreed was the power issue. We had generated 750 megawatts, and we needed to do the distribution. So we went to the president and said, look, we need to do the distribution of this power. And so if it wasn't our responsibility, we needed to have franchise from the federal government. So if you gave us the franchise, would have done the distribution, and Port Harcourt would have had regular power supply. At that time, Port Harcourt required 450 megawatts of power, and we had 715 megawatts of power. We did the power audit, and we arrived at that. See, governance is not just that a challenge. It's not. It is whether you're ready to govern or not. Most politicians don't want to govern. They were hired to sort out their unemployment challenges. So they were unemployed, so politics becomes employment for them. So if we get elected, and that's the reason why I want to become the president, if we get elected, like I told the crowd in Kano yesterday, I said, a governor or president is like an engineer. Engineer finds solutions to engineering problems. So a governor is supposed to find solutions to both political, economic, and social problems of those who have elected him to govern. But we don't do it in Nigeria.
Okay, work with the other person if he wins. And if you win, do you intend to work with him too?
I've said, yeah, the answer is yes. But I said, if the process is not free, I will question.
After the ring, Rotimi Amaechi, they defeated him. If you see the scores, after they ring it, Amaechi released tweets. He now go agree, he now go agree. Back superstar, I will now go agree. Now, they are not sending Dele Momodu to do damage control, to go and be defending Atiku. They are not trying to do rubber stamp and say, the procedure were normal. Rotimi Amaechi, you rest. We know, say, Atiku would have still won, even if the ring and a small, they ring, but no, your worry. I want you guys to listen to what Dele Momodu said. We'll be right back.
And his landslide win in over 20 states. Would you say that this is a reflection of his hold over the ADC?
Oh, definitely. I never doubted, I've said it repeatedly here, I never doubted that he's the biggest fish in the race. But for the fact that Bola Tinubu is now president of Nigeria, he knows that the only person in the race at the moment with cumulative experience and exposure is Atiku Abubakar. That is why Peter Obi left quietly. He knew that in a race against Atiku, he had no chance. That's why he left. And that's more honorable. He didn't deceive himself that he could beat his former boss in inverted commas. They ran together in 2019. It was Atiku that brought Obi forward and put him on that national platform. And they did very well. So when he realized that there are two options, in terms of consensus, he knew it might not favor him. In terms of going to this primary, he knew that it may be difficult for him. And he left quietly with Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And so there is no point that anyone who truthfully wants to participate in getting Tinubu out of power, not just for the sake of getting him out of power, but for all the horrendous happenings, occurrences in Nigeria at the moment, cannot destroy his own party.
The question they asked Dele Momodu was simple. What do you think about the ADC primary that is currently going on now that Atiku have been announced as the winner? He deviated from the question they asked him and focused on Peter Obi. Oh, this is why Peter Obi left. Peter Obi was afraid. It was Atiku that brought Peter Obi to the limelight. The question they ask you is about Rotimi Amaechi, Atiku Abubakar, and the other Ahmed that is contesting, not about Peter Obi or NDC. That's their problem. And anytime you ask them question, they don't focus on the question you ask them. It's about Peter Obi, looking for a way to dismantle or discredit Peter Obi. Now, in a separate video, I want you guys to listen to the same question they asked him about the primary that were conducted. That Atiku won, but Amaechi said he rejected the primary. I want you guys to see what he answered in this interview. We'll be right back.
Much anticipated and awaited ADC presidential primaries finally took place yesterday. What's your assessment of the exercise and the reactions from the contenders? Quite a number of them are not happy.
Well, I think it is in the nature of elections for those who have lost out not to accept sometimes. And I was actually shocked and surprised that very experienced politicians, especially my friend and brother Rotimi Amaechi, would not even allow the primary to be concluded. So I will plead with him again, like I did last week, because he started getting angry since last week about the election. He would not allow a consensus. And I'm sure it was majorly because of someone like him and maybe to a large extent Hayatu-Deen that we had to go through this rigorous process. So I will plead with them to cool temper if they are indeed true patriotic Nigerians who wish to make sure that this APC government that has thrown all of us into absolute chaos, they want to remove the APC government, then they should please cool temper and cooperate.
Not quite long ago, we also have seen stories flying, especially coming to the press as well, that another member of the ADC who carries himself as a national chairman is also about to have primaries as well, where over 1,000 persons have been screened. Yes, we understand that as journalists, we must follow what is written on the portal of INEC. But then again, we will not ignore the flies that indeed surround either of our food or meals. So we must ask, what is your party, the ADC, currently doing about these recent, party members who are now springing up and carrying out primaries as well? Are you going to go to court again? And are you looking to ensure that you set the matter straight?
Have you seen their names on any INEC portal? Anybody can wake up from anywhere in his bedroom and in whatever mood or state and say, I'm a member of ADC. Are we back to June 12th when we had the Ato Izeri base and others, Otumba Bola Davis struggling to kill June 12th? That's what I see. I see people who are being used by some subterranean forces just to make sure that there is total commotion and confusion in Nigeria. And I cannot waste my time on them. They will have to go to court. They try to go to court. Why they say they will go to court? Because they know INEC does not recognize them.
Now, Atiku bought the conscience of Dele Momodu in as much as also bought that of the Kenneth Okonkwo and co. Now, Rotimi Amaechi, the one that is pending me right now is the tweet. Oh, how can you accuse the APC of rigging the election? You said that the APC ring election and vote buying, but the ADC were formed in order for we to set a good example. But we are now also ringing election and buying of votes. Oh, now small. Now remember you had Peter Obi. Now I know why Peter Obi leave ADC. Ooh. Anyway, now the same thing that Atiku just did was the same thing he did in 2023 to Nelson Wike. Now, he knew that, okay, it is the turn of the Southeast, but he just wants to be president. It is his own duty to ensure that nobody from Southeast becomes president. Either Southeast, South, Southwest. His own duty is to ensure that the power remains in the North. That's why you see everybody have to beg him to step down, but he will never step down. To this man Atiku is so desperate to the point that the whole city president that he was vice to, which is Obasanjo were begging him, Baba, I beg, I don't see you be my vice for second tenure. I beg you, if you join me campaign, they have to beg him and he have to give him a condition before he join. He didn't care if he will lose, but he only that if you lose, then I will contest, I will become president. They have to beg him. If you think I'm lying, I want you guys to watch.
But we forget history. In 2002 and 2003, when President Olusegun Obasanjo wanted to run for second tenure, a whole president wanted to run for a second tenure. He knelt down before his vice. He knelt down before his vice presidential candidate, the vice president, and said, my vice, please allow me to run. You know the condition he gave him? One of the conditions, you know what he gave him? Tony Anini must be sacked as Minister of Works. And Tony Anini must not be the President Campaign Council. Obasanjo obliged and sacked Tony Anini as Minister of Works. And removed him from Presidential Council and brought him back to South. And people are talking. This is a president. His own vice giving him condition. A retired general. He knelt down. My vice, please, allow me to run for second tenure. And he was given conditions.
After 2007, he contested. Then Goodluck emerged. Goodluck begged him, Baba, for second term, I beg, come join me campaign. He was in Dubai and said, for me to campaign, you have to step down. I need to be president. People were asking, why can't you just join Goodluck to campaign? Then Goodluck, when he complete his 8 years, then you come in and say, no, Goodluck, don't do 6 years, it's okay. South is not supposed to be president. That was how Goodluck were defeated in 2015. Now, the same thing, the 2023, he came back again. Next week, do. He scattered the party. Now, he came back to ADC after he destroyed the PDP. He's in ADC now. Look at what he did to Amaechi. These people did not count 1, 2, 3, 1,000, 5,000, 1 million like APC. No. They will just count 1, 2, 3. You see it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But they'll go right 10,000. Me, I'm just waiting for Amaechi. Amaechi that we're saying, I'm not like the obedient who run from one party to another. Me, I'm waiting. I want to see if we stand in that party and fight or defeat. By the moment, if eventually he defeated, now there will come settle down dragon. But if he stand, say he go fight for that primary, and even if they not give her, as we know, say they not give her, and he decide to support Atiku, then I know he's a real man. But if because say they not give him this primary, he's still in ADC but not partisan, then I know say na konima. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you believe that Atiku actually won? Do you think that he ring the election? What's your thoughts regarding to the whole ADC from beginning of the coalition, the fractions, the convention, now to the primaries and the Atiku becoming the flag bearer? What are your thoughts for the full process? Now, let me know in the comment section. I love you. God love you more. If you love us, the only way you can show your support to us is for you to tell me what you think about this particular video. Do you think that Atiku will be a better formidable force against Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Do you just think that this man is used by the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu to split the vote of the South-South? What are your take in this particular video? Please let me know. I love you. God love you more. Please subscribe. I beg. Subscribe. Peace out.
I don't have a crystal ball, but like you, I can see what is going on. Atiku's emergence was almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. There was nothing to it. That's why Peter Obi ran away to NDC, because there was no way anybody could have defeated Atiku. NDC is a special purpose vehicle for Atiku's candidacy. It must interest you to know that Atiku has been wanting to start a party before 2019. He did not think that he was going to get the nomination of the PDP because of this rotation business, which later created a problem between him and Wike. I know that because he told me directly one-to-one. I was being recruited as somebody with some special strategic ability, which is the lie. But he never took up, because I think he was able to now persuade the chairman of the party to be on his side, and he won the nomination of the PDP. So he created the ADC for himself, and basically, and therefore it was not surprising that he won. What surprises is that Amaechi struggling to vie with Atiku. Unfortunately, if you may allow me, in Nigerian politics today, I can liken Nigerian politics today to the English football system, where you have the Premier League, Championship League, League 1, League 2, and 5 different leagues. And there are only 2 people in the Premier League of politics in Nigeria. That is Tinubu and Atiku. If I want to put somebody in the championship, I will put Kwankwaso and Obi. Kwankwaso, because he had created a movement, because he had created a party. Obi, not because he had created a party, but because at least he had had a national exposure, and so on. So, and then the others, Amaechi is going to be in League 1. I'm surprised that he's struggling to be president. The problem of Nigeria is that politics is about incantation. When you say something repeatedly, you believe that You can do it. I can be president. I can be president. People who should not be local government chairman, who should not win what elections are vying for local government chairman. Those who could not win local government chairman are vying for House of Representatives. Those who could not win House of Representatives are vying for Senate, and so on. Those who cannot win for Senate are vying for the presidency. So he should not have bothered himself. Right now, Atiku has no leg in the South. There's no prominent member of the ADC from the South, except Amaechi. From the initial complaint about being cheated, and so on, he was never going to be cheated. Atiku scored 1,846,000 plus. Amaechi scored 500, about 4 times. So it was not there as far. It was like a heavyweight fighting a welterweight. And of course, we know that the outcome was already forgone. So if Atiku is able to persuade Amaechi, not that Amaechi will be a great asset, because he does not have the structure. He has never started a political party. He was a technocratic governor. It was somebody who was chosen by grace of Odili, Speaker. Then, fortunately, he became a confusion in the PDP and the meddlesomeness of as well, who went ahead to disqualify the primary that made him the candidate. And then became minister. These are all technocratic things.
Okay.
And he's never been a politician with a structure. So I don't see him being a formidable asset for Atiku, but he's likely to be the best person Atiku should choose.